There are continuous challenges. There are continuous new strategies and projects coming to the table. And retaining talent is, in many cases, making sure that everybody in the company can be part of these developments, of these new projects, of these new challenges. That was what makes people want to stay in the company.
Hi, I'm Lukasz Kiniewicz, partner in charge of Heidrick Struggles Warsaw office and a member of the Global Technology and Services practice. In today's podcast, I'm excited to speak with Santiago Argelich Hesse, CEO of Cellnex Poland. Santiago oversees the company's operations and strategic initiatives in the Polish market. Before assuming this position, he held various leadership roles with Cellnex Telecom, contributing to the company's expansion and integration efforts across Europe. His international experience has equipped him with a diverse perspective on leadership and market dynamics. Santiago, welcome and thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Santiago, to start off, could you tell us a bit about how your international journey from Spain to Germany and now Poland has inspired your approach to leadership, and what ways has working in Poland shaped or reinforced your leadership style?
Sure. I had the privilege to have an extreme international journey in my career. Obviously, my Spanish-German origins root my leadership in both of those cultures. And today, after 25 years of international exposure, I'm in Poland, which is certainly one of the most interesting and unique environments. To be very clear, my leadership is defined by a sequence of international experiences that took me almost to every single continent and had me working in extremely diverse environments. But at the end of the day, I am extremely defined by my origins and the cultures. So on one side, the Spanish culture, which takes you into a highly relational, people-oriented management and leadership environment, where culture is very important, where collaboration is key to any relationship, where adaptability is basically the definition of management. Together with my German roots, which are structuring and driving through process a lot of management decisions. Now, the combination of the two, of on one side efficiency, precision, long-term strategic thinking, and another one which is improvisation, adaptability, and fast reaction. You can use both of them. It's just a question when and how it is most effective to use one or the other. Now, today in my career, I'm in Poland, and Poland in particular, for me, has reinforced the importance of the empowering of the team and fostering the culture of trust. Okay, I found those two being very specific challenges and lessons, and hard lessons sometimes, that I had to go through in the last 4 years where I have been based. I think Poland is pretty unique in the way that it is incredibly ambitious and entrepreneurial, and that drives talent and talent evolution. And as a leader, that's what you need to exploit. That's what you need to use and leverage to make a company successful. Now, overall, and to wrap up the answer, I would say that yes, I have the privilege to have a very diverse and culturally rich experience in my journey. And somehow that helped me, especially to embrace diversity and inclusion values in a much deeper and different way. Knowing that for me, at the end, the underlying key success factor is about open communication and understanding that leadership is not about a single model. It's not about a book with a single concept that you read, apply, and can be successful everywhere. That's not what works. especially in a very diverse and international environment.
Sticking with cross-cultural implications and with Cellnex international footprint in mind, how do you lead diverse teams that are aligned with both local market needs and a unified global vision?
At Cellnex, but also personally, we believe that diversity is not to be oversimplified in a question of gender and age. We think that diversity is also different ways of thinking, working, in approaching or adapting to change. And that is as important as more, let's say, structural diversity dimensions. We have expanded internationally in a very accelerated and fast way, entering 13 European markets in a pretty short period of time of 5 years. And we had to integrate a diversity of different organizational cultures. When you grow so fast through acquisitions, your company within a given country and a cross country is a melting pot of different cultures coming from different company backgrounds. And the challenge in diversity and inclusion is here not about defining a common policy for everybody, but recognizing that each of these cultures, coming from a different background, has its own value, and how you bring them together is the core part of the strategy. So we look at it in a very structured approach. So this is about making sure that you don't get into deadlock because you have discrepancies and diversity of culture within each of the local organizations. And therefore, you need to bring everybody on board by homogenizing the building blocks of any culture. And those are the way you hire, the way you promote, the way you develop talent, the pay equity. You need to align those basic pillars, because otherwise it won't be possible to bring cultures closer together. The real impact comes at the end of the day once you can really focus on how to redefine, how to embrace, how to develop a better common culture, starting from very diverse and different cultures. So our mindset is obviously to reach that. I'm certainly proud of what we have achieved till now, but we are certainly not at the end of that journey. And it will take a lot of more adapting and embracing values, collaboration, and effectively bring together not only local organizations, but countries to reach maybe ideal stage in the future, which is rather an objective than a kind of hard thing that ever can be achieved. Now, leading diverse teams today, which is the reality, with different cultures, is about creating this environment where different cultures can come together, can understand and communicate effectively to each other, and by doing so can redevelop themselves into a common culture.
Santiago, Cellnex has indeed achieved phenomenal growth, becoming Europe's largest digital infrastructure provider largely through M&As. During a merger, which strategies do you deem most important to foster trust and alignment within the leadership teams of both organizations?
So I think there is no universal way of achieving this, because not only the management team has its unique talents, you need to take those into account, but there are also shadow areas in every organization. Also, the CEO is a person with specific experiences, beliefs, success stories that precede him, his experience. And that is nothing that you can generalize or put under a common framework of what makes you successful or what makes you fail. I would start with the awareness of your own preferences, of your own leadership style. recognizing the areas where you are not talented. We all have this. Starting from being very self-aware is a key to then develop or complement yourself with the necessary talent and inviting the people that bring what you cannot bring to the table. So I don't think this is very original at the end of the day, but the risk is you don't embrace diversity. You surround yourself with people that fit well with you, that align with you on the things and make management smooth and easy, but you lose basically the richness of the diversity and the complementarity in a leadership team. So I typically like to confront my own ideas and solutions. I don't say my ideas in advance. At least I try not to put forward what I think is the solution or what I think is the action to be taken with my team. But I ask them and I then tell them, can I be your sparring partner? Or I do it the other way around. I give an hypothesis and ask them to be my sparring partner. But open up. There is nothing better to consolidate a leadership than having constructive debate. At the end of the day, you always get surprised that you get to very similar conclusions and that you are avoiding falling into a trap, which is, I think, is a killer for a leadership in such environments, which is the CEO is the only one who knows. The temptation in an environment where communication is not the easiest, where diversity sometimes requires putting yourself in the skin of the others, push you either by urgency or by crisis into this, I'm the CEO, I know everything, just do what I'm telling you to do. The moment where you fall in that trap, you're basically destroying the leadership in a company like ours.
Speaking about talent retention can often be a challenge during mergers. What specific steps did you take to minimize attrition and ensure continuity of expertise, especially when it comes to critical leadership roles within the strategy of the expanded organization?
Talent rotation is a major challenge, I would say overall, but specifically in Poland, where the job market is so competitive. It is a key to the success of any company. At Cellnex in Poland specifically, we make this as a key priority. And we approach it in different ways, both by structuring and adapting the organization to the talent we have and to the development of the talent. And then operating in a way where we try to make sure that we generate opportunities that create incentive and motivation to the people that work in our company. I think sometimes there is a too rigid view about what is the optimal and right way of organizing a team, and we go by oversimplified principles, and we do not realize that we are glass ceiling or we are capping basically the opportunities and the possibilities of talent to strive to develop and to contribute even more to the business. I always surprise people when I say our industry, which is the infrastructure industry, you would assume it's a boring, stagnant, and unstable environment, but it happened to be exactly the opposite. I think it's a permanent change. There are continuous challenges. There are continuous new strategies and projects coming to the table. And retaining talent is, in many cases, making sure that everybody in the company can be part of these developments, of these new projects, of these new challenges. That was what makes people want to stay in the company.
Digital infrastructure is foundational to the modern economy. As the market matures, what does that mean for talent? Are there any specific skills or mindsets that will define success in digital infrastructure?
Sure. Let me first draw a picture of what are those challenges. specific to Poland. I think the Polish telecom market is undergoing a major shift, probably the largest shift in the last 2 decades. And it has huge implications for talent. First of all, I think the infrastructure ownership and management has changed. And it has changed overnight extremely fast. We as Cellnex are moving from serving single clients into developing what we call the neutral host model, supporting multiple clients. So an infrastructure that was captive and kind of sunk cost within a given company becomes a platform that has to serve as many clients as possible in the market in the most efficient way possible. It is quite dramatic for talent that has been working in that industry under a different paradigm for over 2 decades to now move into a model where all these fundamentals are being redefined. I think the second one is that Poland is still in front of a massive infrastructure investment. And it is not anymore limited and constrained to the mobile operators or the fiber operators. I think the investments in digital infrastructure are now critical for railways, airports, private 5G, indoor connectivity. The market is evolving very, very fast, and adaptability is critical. I think there is still a big gap on how the talented professionals in this industry can embrace that there is much more beyond a mobile network. Third, I would say, is this separation between the infrastructure and the service is so transformational that it takes time to fully understand. If you are part of an MNO, you're a service company. And yes, you have to strive for innovation, for new product development, for quality of service. If you are part now of an infrastructure company, which is a separate company, you are striving for enabling the growth, the creation of new infrastructure, and managing infrastructure in the most efficient and open way that it exists. And that separation means that people and talent in one part of the digital ecosystem and the infrastructure ecosystem are different. And acknowledging that is still far from being a reality. So in a nutshell, what does it mean for talent? I think, yes, technical skills continue mattering a lot. This is an industry full of engineers, but the mindset is key. I love these VUCA and BANI concepts, and they drive the world. And everything is constantly and unpredictably changing, and that is a reality in the infrastructure. However, I would say as much as we have to embrace this is an industry where we design a plane and we need to make it fly on a record short time, and it has to perfectly work. So as much as we like to be agile and adaptive, we still have very stringent commitments not to crash the plane, even if we have to make it fly in a very short time period. Okay? So it creates or it requires a special kind of talent. And this is why mindset is so important, which is extremely skilled and proud to continue learning and developing on a technical side, and at the same time can be agile under very, very strict conditions of reliability, continuity, and safety. And here is where we have the key challenge on making sure that we have these 360 degrees components in every talented person that contributes to our industry.
As you think about the future, how do you see the role of leadership evolving, and which capabilities will be needed for leadership in an industry undergoing such profound change?
Performing the profession of a boss, okay? And on top of what I described as this mindset dimension in the previous question, requires understanding the importance of the trend defined as human to human, specializing in building relational motivation, which is not trajectory based on fundamented on benefits and remuneration and promotions. I think the big challenge is you cannot omit, you cannot ignore that there is always an underlying leadership style that will drive or will condition the engagement that an organization has. The most or the biggest challenge, at least in our sector, in our company, in the future, is where to find this healthy balance between taking personal care of the people, developing them, keeping them engaged, while setting ambitious challenges and goals of a continuously transforming and evolving company. I strongly believe that ability to create an environment of radical candor ignites the unique power of individual talents and protects the organization from delaying action until it's too late to change. It is a major risk in our environment to get stuck, to overcomplexify, and to analyze and investigate yourself to death. And creating the right environment with the right balance that helps you to navigate and surf successfully a wave of investment, technology, and innovation is the key of success.
Thank you for sharing your time and insights with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.